What's going
Hello,
on? What's
Hello.
everybody.
going on? How are you guys doing today?
I'm fucking tired, man.
Why is that?
I barely slept last night.
Why not?
Just couldn't sleep. Just stayed up watching Star Wars.
That's awesome.
What Star Wars?
I've just been rewatching the movies. So I watched Revenge of the Sith last night. I tweeted out "Never Tell Me the Odds" today because I was watching Empire Strikes Back. Um, it's all good. I love Star Wars. I rewatched Rogue
So,
One. I love Rogue One. It's like my second favorite Star Wars movie.
second favorite?
I
The
like
best
Maybe
two.
third.
The best two are my favorite is A New Hope, which is just the OG one,
A
and
New,
then
A New Hope is
Empire.
very good.
A New
Empire
Hope
Strikes
and
Back, very good.
Number,
those are
yeah,
like
the
the
fifth
two.
one. I don't know the numbers. The fifth one's the best
That's
one.
That's Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
It's
Yes.
very
those
good.
are the two. Those are like the two S tier Star Wars things, and then there's a gap, and then there's some B tier Star Wars things, and then there's some C tier Star Wars things.
There's some
It's
like
all
stuff that maybe
it's
isn't even
all
C
S.
tier.
For me, it's like Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope. Um, Pretty much every movie except for the first two are S tier, and then
Blaiden, I'm not sure I agree.
The Clone Wars series is also S tier. Rebels series is also S tier.
I've
Um,
never seen this series.
they're very good. Oh, Kenobi is very good. Mandalorian's good.
Really, I heard Kenobi was kind of underwhelming.
I liked it.
Well, the thing is, the characters are good, so the movie can be whatever you want. That like it can be dog shit, and you'd still be like,
Well,
oh yeah, it's
here's
good because
the big thing. The, it's all I wanted was for them to just like have cool moments between Vader and Obi-Wan, and I got that, so I'm happy.
The
This is
standard
a
is
low
low.
bar for.
Low
It's
bar.
a,
Right.
Just have
it
the
was a
two.
very
Just
low
have these
bar.
two on screen together, and I will defend the series. You know, yeah, the new movie sucked. Yeah, I would say the last. I like the first one of the.
I liked
sequels.
I liked Rise of Skywalker.
It was
I
kind of
thoroughly
silly.
enjoyed it.
I
The
haven't
one
seen it.
before
The
was also kind of silly.
the
A lot of
Palpatine scene
people will.
was cool as shit.
I was like, they're really gonna bring this guy back? Like, why?
Well, Palpatine's also like my second favorite character in the whole franchise.
Wow.
I thought the last two were extremely silly. I thought The Force Awakens was just A New Hope again, but I was like, all right, I'm excited to see
Yeah,
where this goes. And then I didn't
it
really
was.
love where it went. I don't know.
The Last Jedi was I will give you was kind of meh. That
Yeah,
was pretty
that
attack.
was
That was
pretty
pretty Attack of
underwhelming.
the Clones tier.
That was pretty
Um,
underwhelming. A lot of people will like defend that one with their lives, and it's
the
like you
Last
don't
Jedi,
have to,
really.
man. Man, you don't
I
have to.
well because like one of the main reasons why people love Empire Strikes Back so much is they always bring up the battle on Hoth, right? They're like that's the snow planet, and it's
It's
like
dope.
oh it's all super cool, and they're like the salt planet battle is just like that, but it's not. It's the problem. It's nothing like that at all. Um, I
Somehow
don't know.
Palpatine returned is the worst line in movie history. Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude.
It's so
Somehow.
funny.
It's a bad way. It's a bad way to announce his return.
Yeah, it is.
But like
Which is kind of
his
key to
actual,
making a good movie.
but when he's actually in like the scene where they're on Exegol and he like shoots lightning up into the sky, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, but this
It's
is
not.
why I
It's not
can't
good
talk. I can't.
filmmaking. I
I
fear.
can't talk movie with you, Blaiden, because you just don't watch good movies. So like, you don't know it when you see it.
Well, I just want to have fun, and I had fun watching the Rise of Skywalker. So
I watched a movie called The Talented Mr. Ripley the other day, and that was from the early 2000s with Matt Damon
It's
and
very
Philip.
popular on TikTok right now. No,
Is it
is
actually?
it?
I mean not super talented. I know the style from it is like Am I making this up?
Oh, it's really everybody in that movie is dripped out.
yeah,
All
I feel
right.
like I've seen a bunch of TikToks about the
Dickie
style of it.
Greenleaf is stylish in that movie, and so is Tom Ripley. That movie rocks. It's like American Psycho for like indie girls, I would say, and not weird guys. It's very It's very much like a romantic Italian American Psycho.
Okay, interesting.
Says the
They're
one
fun.
whose favorite movie is Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road won like 7 Oscars and is like like will rank very highly on anyone's list of best action movies ever. So you can shut up.
I'm glad you liked Into the Spider-Verse though, right?
Yeah, I think that's the greatest superhero movie ever, easily.
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay.
I
What?
thought it was okay.
Real?
Yeah, I
Nah.
thought it was fine.
That's
That movie
wild.
rocks.
That movie's amazing.
That's my favorite superhero movie.
I don't feel bad, but it's like good, but it's nothing
It's
like.
It's my
I
favorite
can't
Spider-Man
find
movie
any
for sure.
particular reason why it's like deemed like the best superhero movie ever.
It's funny. I think the animation is
The animation's
it's
cool.
just
I'll
a
give you
very
that.
it's very appealing to watch to me. Like the animation's really
Yeah.
cool and it just is like appealing to watch. I think it's genuinely funny. I loved the plot. I thought like that's the best way to do a multiverse kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. Did you guys watch
Yeah.
No Way Home? Boy, did we.
Yes, that's a terrible. I mean, it's a terrible movie. No, that's an
Really?
awful movie, man.
I don't think it was awful.
It's got a
but
lot of
again,
Spider-Mans, though. I'll give them that.
It was
We've
fun.
been through
I
this.
don't. Oh, jeez.
But
You just don't like to have fun. Why can't you just have
That's
fun
it.
with a
I
movie?
hate fun movies.
that's not
You've
it.
gotten
That's
me.
one of my least favorite things is like oh, you just don't want to have fun. It's like, bro, we have seen Marvel movies 30 times. I've seen 30 Marvel movies. At this point, I want to have fun, okay? I'm dying to have some fun, but at this
I like
point they're
movies-
boring, right?
Like movies that are a
we've done
bad
this.
time.
I've been on this roller coaster 30 times before and like I want to do something else, right? It's not that I want to be bored. It's that I don't want to be bored. And at this point, they're just boring, So it's
What was boring about No Way Home?
It was so silly, dude. I'm not like the dialogue is like hilariously bad. The plot is stupid.
That's
Tom
Spider-Man.
Holland's-
All Spider-Mans are just...
No, because any defense
No.
of this is just like, well, I like the Spider-Man character, so if he's in it, I'm having fun. I just want the movie to be fun. Therefore, any movie with Spider-Man is good. Okay, it's like comically bad. The CGI, there's literally some like student film level CGI in there. Like the dialogue's ridiculous. I don't like any of the characters because they're all ridiculous and not written like real people. And Tom Holland's arc needs to like finish here, and he needs to stop acting like a scared kid the entire movie. Tom Holland stuttering over his words because he's supposed to be like a high schooler or whatever is not endearing to me, especially not like after the 20th movie of him doing it.
Tom Holland is not all that as an actor, I fear.
So I disagree, Blaiden. But I'm guessing you thought it was fun.
What's
can't- I
the biggest
can't
favorite
argue with
movie you've
that.
ever seen? What's the worst movie you've ever seen where you
Ooh,
like,
that's a
wanted
good
to
one.
walk out or you just said this is trash?
The worst movie I've ever seen. I'd have to think about that. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever watched a movie and just been like, this is truly horrific.
You've never watched a movie and been like, this
Well,
is
because
bad.
it's like no,
Blaine,
I've
how
watched
can that be your opinion, buddy?
no, it's not. I just can't think of one off the top of my head. That's the thing. It's just like nothing has been bad
There's
enough
not
that it
one
sticks
movie that you
out.
don't like that you can think of.
Not like right off the top of my head. Like I'm sure I've seen movies that I didn't like, but I'm just like struggling to think of it right now.
You need to start a Letterboxd, Blaine. I want to see your ratings. Come on.
Well, he watches the same
Right,
7
there's not
movies
that
over and
many
over
you've
again,
seen,
so
huh?
it's not that many things for him to see.
Where do you like?
This is fucked.
Do you like the Tom and Jerry movies?
They have
Genuine question. You
I
got to
love
start a
Tom and Jerry.
Letterboxd, man.
I'm honestly, I'm not a fan of the animation of the new Tom and Jerry stuff. Like the reboot Tom and Jerry's, I don't like the new animation of it. Let's see. So I'll say that. That'll be my one criticism of the Tom and Jerry franchise.
You're more of a classic TNJ
Yeah, I like
fan.
I like the classics.
I can respect that. When did Tom and Jerry jump the shark?
When the animation started to look like Teen Titans Go.
So Tom and Jerry, the movie, is the worst movie you've ever seen.
No,
Okay.
there's no way. There's no way that would be the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm trying to think. It's a legitimately difficult question. Like I don't
just like
know.
one. Okay, like any bad
one movie
though.
that you don't
I'm
like. I'll
trying
tell
to
you one.
think.
There's a movie called The Game. I hated that movie. Michael Douglas is in it. It's the stupidest ending I've ever seen. Let's see what else was bad. There was a movie called Black Christmas that was out a few years ago, like a horror movie about sorority girls that was truly horrible. Maybe another horrible movie was the Hitman's Bodyguard 2 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Hitman's Bodyguard 2.
Those are three. I mean, there was a movie. What are some other really bad ones? But those are three right there.
I'm gonna go look on my Letterboxd to see what I have rated. I love Letterboxd, dude. I like rating the movies.
Yeah, I'll need to.
You got to get on that, man.
That's on me. You know.
Oh, I hate Hereditary and Midsommar. I think that those two, Ari
either of them.
Aster, I think is a horrible director. Terrible, terrible, terrible movies, both of them. I hate those guys.
Man, I'm legitimately struggling to think of movies that I've just hated. Like I talked about
how many Will Ferrell. You haven't seen like a Will Ferrell movie that you're.
I
like,
have
okay,
seen
that was
Will
pretty
Ferrell,
stupid.
but I think the joy in a Will Ferrell movie is that like even if it's bad, it's like comically bad. Like I said, La Casa de Mi Padre was like a terrible movie, but it was so funny that it was like funny how bad it was, and that made it enjoyable. Like I would watch it
Suicide
again.
Squad. Have you seen the first Suicide Squad? Have you ever seen any DC comic movie before?
Oh my! Actually, Green Lantern was not great.
There we go.
Green Lantern was
Big
not
time.
great. I didn't even think about DC movies. That's a good one. The first Suicide Squad was rough. The second one was good. The new one is good.
Sleepless in Seattle for me. That's a terrible movie. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Midsommar and Hereditary are two of the scariest movies of the modern day era. They are not scary. They are straight up not scary. I like they're just their whole goal is to be uncomfortable. They're like, oh, we're just gonna make the audience squirm. And then it's just like a collection of Ari Aster thinking of like, what are some taboo things? Naked old people. No one wants to see that. We'll put a bunch of them in the movie.
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, you're right. I don't want to see.
You're right. I don't want to see that. It's like I don't think that you
watch.
earned this. It sucks ass, dude. It's not even. And I'm fine with naked old people in a movie if you like do it well. I don't know how you would do it well, but he just like puts. I literally think he just sits there and thinks of stuff that like are taboo, and then he's like, I'm gonna put it in my movie. Like we'll put incest in there. We'll put naked like ugly. We'll put like ugly naked people in there. We'll put like deformed people in there, and we'll think of the plot later. It's just stupid. It's like I'm not scared. I'm not even particularly uncomfortable. Okay, like I've been on the internet since I was 11 years old. I've seen disturbing like this isn't something that is like. I'm not some 40-year-old who's never been exposed to weird things online before. So, it's not even like that disgustingly horrible. It's just, okay, this is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what
My
movie
thing
I
is
think
like,
is... Go ahead,
no,
Blaiden.
you go. Are you sure? You sure?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You're such a nice guy.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
My thing with bad movies is that like one of my favorite movies of all time is like that wouldn't have like made my top 10 or anything, but it's just a movie that I love to watch. It's called The Master of Disguise. It is critically claimed as one of the worst movies ever. But it's like I think it's hilarious. I think it's just like the most comical and most just good time movie ever.
It has
But
1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I believe it. No, like I absolutely believe it. Like it's deemed horrible.
So you're talking about like bad movies that you appreciate
But like
regardless.
it's like I can enjoy a movie and it's
like
still
for
be
being bad.
Yeah, like
I
I can have a good time. And be like, bro, this shit just sucks, and still just have a good time.
You know what movie I really don't like that a lot of people like? I think Dead
movie?
Poets Society is not that good.
I liked Dead Poet Society, but it's definitely nowhere near my like favorite movies of all
I
time.
like Robert Williams, don't get me wrong, but dude,
Robert Williams.
yeah.
The Ridiculous Six is pretty horrible. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think there's one like pretty popular movie that I didn't like that like I saw when it came out,
Robin,
and I was like, this was not.
It's probably like some masterpiece that you just thought was boring. It was probably like
no, it wasn't like
probably some like Paul Thomas Anderson like masterpiece.
No, it was like a kids movie. But like I saw, but it was like I saw it with my family, and it was like, so it was like, I remember everyone loved it except for me, and I can't remember what it was. And it's gonna drive me nuts now for the rest of the live, but it is what it is. In other news, Matt Corral is the greatest quarterback of all time.
I agree.
Matt Corral. I went back and watched Matt Corral film for my new YouTube video, which everybody should watch if you haven't watched it.
They should go watch it.
With the players that I'm most excited to see from each round. And my third round pick is Matt Corral, and I went back and watched him. And it's just crazy. Like, I watched him, and then I watched Eli Manning in Ben McAdoo's offense, and it's just crazy how literally nothing Matt Corral was doing was what Eli Manning was doing. Just nothing. Like, there's no play action that Eli was running. It's just like under center, you know, or not even under center, but it's 11 personnel and then, you know, straight drop back and make the right read, which is just like nothing that Corral had to do. So it's such a big learning curve for him, but I don't know. It'll be interesting just because of he is more talented than the average third round pick, and I'm truly curious to see what like Corral, who is such a system quarterback at Ole Miss, is gonna do. And no one is that much of a system quarterback in the NFL. No one. So like he's got a lot more talent than the average.
That man can
throw the ball. That's really all that matters, frankly.
So it'll be interesting to see how that transition looks, because in practice, like, obviously the release is amazing, and he's got good arm strength, and his accuracy is a little inconsistent, I thought, on film, but you know, in training camp highlights, it looks amazing. So I'm really interested to see like what he looks like in a real system, because he's definitely more talented than the average third round pick. It's just like, are you going to be able to like know what you're looking at here? Like, what are they going to do? He will. Simple.
I'm confident.
He's learning from the best. Rule
and
Mayfield,
Baker Mayfield. If
well,
anyone can
examples
teach
of what not to do.
Yeah, exactly. What not to do. He can not possibly mess up. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see Corral. I want to be able to. I'm trying to figure out a way. I want to put money that at some point he will get the nod to start this season, and then he will have a winning record as a starter. Like, I feel very confident.
A pretty
Panthers are horrible. That's a terrible bet.
I think that Baker's gonna start all 17 games. Here's what I think is maybe a safer prediction if you like Corral, is he looks good in preseason and they cut or trade Darnold, and Darnold doesn't make the team.
That wouldn't shock
because they don't.
Darnold getting beaten up by PJ Walker would be hilarious, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
or just like someone that I don't know if they save any money by cutting him, but if he's just like clearly not doing anything. Maybe you could trade him for like a 7th-round pick. I don't even have an idea of what if you could trade him for a 7th-round pick at this point, since he's so obviously bad. But like maybe.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean
think-
Darnold. No one could
I mean,
possibly.
He won 4 games last year, so backup quarterbacks could win. There's not a lot of them who. I shouldn't say there's.
How
not
many
a lot of
backup
them,
quarterbacks? How many backup quarterbacks would you be willing to take over Sam Darnold?
Most of them.
But let's
I mean,
let's go
he's not-
through the list right now.
He could be some team's backup. He could be some team's backup, but I doubt the Panthers are gonna like get anything serious for him. Probably like some like conditional 7th, with the condition being like, oh my god, he's amazing.
But
Yeah.
I think that that's the thing to watch out for Corral is like I don't think he's gonna start over Baker. He's just got too much to learn.
No.
But
I think if
I think he
Baker's
could
just
beat
like
out
I think if
Darnold.
Baker's really bad, they might give him a shot.
yeah, I don't think that Baker will be like really bad. Like I don't think he'll be worse than he was last year with the injuries, and he didn't get benched last year somehow.
That's true.
But
But also, who was the backup last year? It was like what, Garrett? It was oh no, because we still had Case.
yeah,
Didn't so okay. I was thinking it was like Garrett Gilbert. I'm like
Cam Newton
like,
is better
man.
than Darnold. I'll say that. If we're talking about Cam Newton should have been Carolina's starter, like Cam Newton
Oh,
is a better
yeah.
player than Sam Darnold is. Even
Absolutely.
now. So
they just gave him like 4 days to learn the playbook, and
they
they're
gave
like,
him
all
like
right,
3 days, and then they're like, get in there.
go out there, have a good time. Like what? Yeah, he had no hope. But I like given a full off season, yeah, give me Cam Newton easily.
That's all good. Him scoring 2 touchdowns against the Cardinals is the best moment in Panthers history. So
That was so fun. That was
It's
so
got to
cool.
be top 5, unironically.
I blocked
top
everyone,
5
made fun
top
of it
5
the next
mic'd
week.
up moments ever.
Oh, you're back to throwing interceptions, Cam Newton? Yeah, I'm blocking you. Real funny, dude.
Darnold will be a Fitzpatrick level backup until he's 35. I really don't think I think like
I'd
Ryan
rather have Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean,
dog,
Ryan
what?
Fitzpatrick is like top 30 all time in passing yards or something.
I'd rather have Josh McCown right now.
No, legitimately, I'd have to consider it.
I
I'd have
really
to
would rather
consider
have
Josh
Josh McCown than Sam Darnold right now because Josh McCown got considered for a head coaching job. So at least I'm like he doesn't need coaching. He can coach someone else, I would legitimately
true.
rather have my quarterback room if you gave me a choice between Josh McCown, Corral and Mayfield, and Josh McCown, Darnold, and wait.
Or Baker.
Mayfield, Corral, Josh McCown, Mayfield, Corral, Darnold. Give me the one with Josh McCown because
Yes.
he's a good coach, I guess.
Yes. He's smart enough, like he's been in the league long enough and he's smart enough to like he could coach someone else.
Give me
But, like,
current Brett Favre over Sam Darnold right now.
Brett Favre is underrated all the time, man. And he did some pretty kind of like bad things in his career. And his career was great. If he was in the social media era, like he got addicted to Vicodin and he like sent a dick pic to like a personal trainer one time. Like he was crazy. But he won
That's pretty
3
off the
straight
rails.
MVPs, Like that doesn't get enough respect in the like grand scheme of quarterbacks all time. 3 MVPs in a row is actually crazy.
That's pretty crazy. Hey, Rodgers could be on for a third straight.
Hey,
Yeah, that's not happening with. I mean, if they have an elite passing offense with those receivers, he should win 2 MVPs. Okay, but
In
I
one
just don't
season.
think it's gonna
that's not
happen.
loud.
The right side of their offensive line right now is some guy who I can't even like Google, and Royce Newman.
Royce Newman slander?
Yes.
Oh,
Couldn't be me, man.
don't say that about him.
But yeah, it's. I had my Packers prediction on TikTok last night, and I said they'd go 9-8, and everyone got mad at me.
Dude said he'd rather have current Roger Staubach over Darnold.
Yeah. Who's
Bro,
the NBA? This is an NBA live. We haven't said one word about the NBA. Who is the
it's
NBA
it's
equivalent to
it's
Sam Darnold?
technically the title is just
Who's
Tuesday Live.
This
who's
is
So
just
NBA
been
equivalent
bad?
of Sam Darnold.
They've been bad for 4 years, and yet still they could start a highly drafted player who sucked. The one name that comes to mind is like Markel Fultz.
that was my first thought, but
Oh,
he's
Fultz, but
probably
with
not.
him, it's like it's
But
just an
Fultz, it's
injury
different.
thing. And it's like
Yeah.
not as I
Yeah.
don't blame him the same way. It's like Darnold, you just suck. You know,
Like a
Right.
first round bust that is still like hanging around as a potential starter. I don't know. There
it's
haven't.
a tough one.
It is a tough one.
They just don't have guys like that because it's like you just won't start. You know,
Right.
they're just not
Yeah.
gonna start you.
There's just more. There's someone out there like quarterback.
Marvin Bagley. That's not a terrible one, but he didn't get the hate that Darnold does.
Marvin is that might be the pick, honestly. But because he was the second overall player, he's been nothing but bad, and he might start in
Yeah,
Detroit.
maybe
Yeah,
Marvin
that's
Bagley's
probably
the same.
about the closest
Of
thing
course,
to
there's
pick.
a lot of Marvin Bagley defenders out there. So Marvin
Is
Bagley was doing
is
some.
anyone defending Sam Darnold?
Hey, but I was told he was going to win MVP last year, and I didn't have him. And people are doing the exact same thing. You know, the Panthers could be a sneaky playoff team. It's like maybe if they had like a real quarterback,
They do.
maybe, or a good.
Matt Corral.
Yeah, Corral is like he runs like a middle school offense now. So it's gonna take a minute. But hey, I hope they just sit him the whole year. I hope he doesn't play. It's probably for the best.
That is for the best, but I would like to see him at some point, down the line. Steve Smith said what, 2 years?
2 years. Well, Steve Smith wouldn't lie to me, so that's how long it'll be.
In 2 years, Matt Corral will be the franchise quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, and they will win the Super Bowl. Theo, we cannot hear you.
I like how Steve Smith said that Baker Mayfield is just garbage, and now he's just like hanging around Panthers practice, hyping up his backups. Like he's an elite hater for that.
He's awesome.
He's real. He's not sugarcoating it.
Steve Smith
respect
and
it.
Steve. I'll say this: Steve Smith does not always just hype up every single Panthers player. He's pretty honest, so I always like his opinion. Last time that he was really strongly in favor of something the Panthers did, it was drafting DJ Moore, and he was like, "He's like me." I was like, "Nice," and he is kind of like him. Not really, but
Yeah,
he's strong.
He is.
Like him.
He is kind of. Yeah, he's.
Steve
strong.
Smith was so strong, dude. That's what made him awesome.
Strong receivers are fun.
Steve Smith was like if Rondale Moore could actually do things down the field.
Like,
did you
yeah.
see?
He's
Did
just
you
like a
see the
little
Nate
ball of
Tice?
muscle.
Did you see the Nate Tice tweet that Rondo Moore had 100.4% of his yards after the catch?
Dude, that's a hilarious stat. That's awesome.
That is the best stat I've ever seen in my life.
Little receivers are just not it, dude. Like people every year, Calvin Austin will run like a 4.2 40. Even though the history of wide receivers who run like a 4.2 40 is literally horrible because they're all 5'5", and they'll be like, "Bro, this guy is it," and it's like, this is not Madden, okay?
What was
This is
Tyreek
not
Hill?
him.
What
He
did
is not
Tyreek
him.
Hill run?
Well, he never
in
ran a
pre-draft?
40 because he
Not at the
pushed his-
combine. Not at the combine. But did he,
He didn't
ever
run
do
any
like a pro
40.
day or anything?
Nope.
He's
Well, I
never
think he
run
got
a
like
40.
kicked out of
Really?
school. So yeah. Tyreek Hill and Antonio Brown and Steve Smith are such
Yeah.
massive exceptions. Like there's a couple of
Yeah.
them, but gadget guys
Well,
just
because
don't.
my
I do
thought
not
was like
value
if
versatility.
Tyreek Hill ran like a 4.3 and he did it on purpose so that he could not get the 4.2 curse.
Any gadget guy, any versatile player, I'm just not interested in. It never works out. These safety linebacker hybrid types, they all suck, all of them, except for like Jeremy Chin maybe.
Hey.
And who else? But like Dion Buchanan, who?
Isaiah
Deion
Isaiah
Simmons.
Simmons.
More
Isaiah
Isaiah Simmons
Clemson.
slander, please.
Common Clemson L.
God,
but-
that was
Here's
so
the thing: is
annoying.
I liked Isaiah Simmons out of college. I was like, man, this dude can just do everything. And then he
I don't
gets
know.
to
There
the
was
like
that
NFL,
one
part-
graphic
and he
they
can do
showed.
nothing.
There was that one graphic he showed. They showed where it was like he lined up outside corners sometimes. I'm like, that does not seem right. That doesn't
No,
seem.
don't do that.
Maybe the answer to it is like if you were really good enough at one certain thing, they would just always put you there. But that's probably
JOK.
oversimplifying it.
Yeah, JOK maybe, but I mean he hasn't proven
Well, okay.
anything yet.
Here's the thing, Matt. You are kind of onto something. The problem that I've seen with a lot of these tweener guys, and mostly it's the Cardinals because the Cardinals keep doing it. But they had Deion Buchanan, and what they want to do is they want to put this guy everywhere. Isaiah Simmons, they want to put him everywhere, and he ends up being bad because he has to know the job of like 18,000 different positions.
It's also part of it for sure.
But whereas like you take a guy like JOK and you just put him at linebacker. And you're
Hassan
like,
Reddick's
and you're
kind
like,
of a good example of that. He was drafted as like that tweener guy, right? And
Yeah.
he was terrible for the Cardinals at first, but he's not a bad player. He's just a pass rusher.
yeah, you just
Yeah.
can't, you cannot ask these guys to do too much, right? It's like, okay, you're a versatile player. I'm going to put you here and you're going to be the most versatile guy here, right? You're going to, JOK, going to be a super versatile linebacker. I'm not going to have him rotate back to play safety if, John Johnson isn't up to par, right? Like, that's just not going to
There's just a big difference between like you should draft a guy because they're really good at like one certain thing. But it's
Yeah,
like there's a big difference between like being like, oh, I can get away with lining up as outside corner and linebacker in college versus like
Right.
I can pull like you can't pull that off in the pros. It's too difficult. People are too specialized. They're too good at their one thing for you to get away with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isaiah Simmons
I agree. You should always
one-on-one on the outside. You get fucked.
if someone is like 100% good at rushing off the edge or 80% good at being an off-ball linebacker and rushing off the edge, like give me the guy who's just really good at the one thing. And obviously there's guys like Micah Parsons who do it, but yeah, guys like Jabril Peppers
Or
and
Derwin James, maybe.
Derwin James, like there's examples of it working out, but even Derwin is like kind of I guess
it was
he's
just a
versatile,
college
but
thing. It's not really that much. It's he was lining up at like defensive end in college, if I remember correctly.
right, you don't want to
Yeah.
line Derwin up at like nose tackle. So
Right.
Well,
The
you
Chargers
might
have done a
you
good
might
job
have
of
Jerry
like
Tillery's your nose tackle. Am I right?
Jerry Tillery is another one where it's like,
That's
bro,
a knee
he
slapper,
can rush
man.
off the edge. He can line up
Right.
anywhere on the defensive line. No, he can line up nowhere. But anyway,
Right.
I don't even know what we're talking about. But Roquan
We're just
Smith
talking,
to
man.
the Steelers, Roquan Smith to my Houston Texans.
Listen, man, Kareem Hunt and a second or third round pick for Roquan Smith. Who says
What second? What third?
no? 2047. Like,
It'll be like the Rams, but you guys aren't good and don't win games.
Yeah, I think that. Who knows? It's if I were
So you say
Roquan
Cowboys on
Smith.
this timeline.
I said Cowboys. I think that would be cool. I think that they, that could definitely give them a lot of versatility with, you could have Micah Parsons at edge, and instead of talking yourself into rookie Sam Williams, or Terrell Basham at edge, you can just have Micah Parsons there more frequently and then keep up DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side and then have Barr and Van Der Esch or Barr and Roquan or Roquan and Barr. Like, it would really, I think, do a lot for their front with the versatility. Or you could have, Parsons off ball, Roquan, Van Der Esch. Like, I think that would give you a lot of versatility with.
I'm trying to think of
Micah.
teams like contenders outside of Dallas that like would really need a linebacker. I'm thinking like
Steelers
what,
really
maybe
need one. That's another one that they could.
Steelers.
Like,
I think the
their
Raiders
linebackers
maybe.
suck, dude.
The Raiders might benefit from a linebacker.
Falcons for Deion Jones. Deion Jones in what? A first? Like, Deion Jones stinks.
Deion Jones
he's
in
not
2
good
firsts.
anymore.
Like, I don't know. I think the Raiders, the Steelers, honestly, Baltimore.
Yeah, Patrick Queen is bad.
Patrick
And then
Queen
you've
is
got Josh Bynes right next to him.
yeah. Yeah.
They could benefit a lot from Roquan, and they're in win now mode. If the Bears trade Roquan Smith, they might not win a game. Like, dude,
Dude, they just gave
I've already
up
said
on this season.
they're
That's
getting
unbelievable.
two wins. Like there's no way. Like I know
I don't
This
know
would
what
be-
they're doing not paying him too, because like, what else does he have to do? You know, it's just a bad look for the
Who
franchise.
are you giving that money to?
Right. It's like, oh, well, off-ball linebacker, like, because in his note he said it would be a bad look for all linebackers. It would be bad for all linebackers if I didn't reset the market with this deal. Like, it would lower all of us because that
Right.
would set the standard for contracts. So clearly, they're just. How many analytics hires did they make? Because the analytics department is like, well, we could find off-ball linebackers anywhere, and you can't. Like, they're
Right.
not that valuable. They just shoot gaps. So I'm looking at the Bears analytics department, and this could be a very common analytics department L here if they let Roquan Smith go, because there's just no way that.
Why do you think the Browns linebackers got so bad? Because we had like analytics people running our department until like 2020.
You still
like-
do. And the analytics people were like, well, the analytics say trading for Deshaun Watson is worth it. And then it's not. There's some
Right, because we
actual
have
things
we
that
have
you
no linebackers, and Jakeem
no
Grant just got
quarterback.
hurt. So, and no quarterback, no linebackers. We have like 2.5 receivers. We have like, I guess we have an offensive line and running backs and corners.
Poles really could be like a generationally bad general manager. Like, I get that he's new. They hired an analytics expert from MIT. That's your mistake, okay?
That was your-
They don't. What do they know
Campbell-
about football at MIT?
What do they
guys?
know about football? You think Dan Campbell would or whoever's running the Lions would flip flop on whether to pay their stud linebacker? No,
No.
and that's why the linebackers. That's why the Lions are trending up and the Bears are trending.
Oh, well, you
down.
know, the Lions have an extra first-round draft pick, and they desperately need a linebacker.
Ooh,
Unfortunately,
hold
Bears, though. And they're also not really in a position to. I feel like, that's more of
Yeah.
a win now.
It-
than
and
trading
it's
a first
in
to
the
pay a guy,
division.
but it would be cool.
It would be
I'd
fun.
like to see the defense with
I
more
like
talent.
things that are fun.
That you don't.
Do you guys trust Justin Fields at all to develop in a horrible situation? No.
No.
No, I don't
Nope.
trust that.
Sorry.
I don't trust Justin Fields to look that good this year. I'm sorry. Polls
Justin,
not even
it's
a
just
little
it's a tough adjustment to go from Ohio State facing like Iowa to I'm on the least talented NFL team.
Yeah, this would be like if you were on like Rutgers and you had to play Bama every week. Like you'd be cooked.
It's really not great for him. I feel bad.
Connor Burns on TikToks makes me hate the Bears. I constantly pray on the Bears' downfall just because of him. Well,
Okay, no,
your
I feel
prayers
bad.
will soon be answered. Your prayers have clearly worked.
Yeah. No, see, here's the thing: is like I made that video for FanDuel saying the Bears would have 2 wins. Everyone's like, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The Bears gonna have at least 7 wins." And I'm like,
At least
I said 4.
I was like, on what planet?
I said 4, and I'm gonna lower it by the end. I'm gonna add up all my wins at the end, and I'm probably gonna be above the like
It's hard
possible
not
amount
to
of
be.
wins.
Yeah.
So I'll probably like adjust some things, and the Bears are gonna lower. Like, I did like their defense a decent amount because they had a decent defense last year, and like before this whole Roquan Smith thing, I'm like, well, I mean, they don't have Khalil Mack anymore, but they didn't for last year for most of it, and they added,
And they still have
two
Robert
two
Quinn.
decent. They still have Robert Quinn, although I think he's gonna have a little bit more of a down year than he did last year, since that's what he
Yeah.
does. But
Ohio
like,
State
I don't
actually has
know.
a better roster. I'll say this: I would give me like the entire roster, Justin Fields' last season at Ohio State right now over whatever the Bears have. Like
Your
taking
receivers
into
would be
account like all
better.
the guys on the bench there, easily.
Your receivers are better, no
Your rece-
question.
There's
Your
even-
receiver.
His
Garrett
college is like
Wilson.
legitimately his college receivers were better than his receivers now.
Yeah, I would
Garrett
agree that the
Wilson, Chris
offensive.
Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Like, come on.
He's also who is the tackle that might go in the top 5 next year that OSU's got?
Oh, for the life of me, his name is slipping me.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking? Was he
I
there
do know
last
who
year?
you're talking about.
I
He's
can
got like a French
pull
name.
it up real quick.
But yeah, but I definitely think that Ohio State's like offense, even in the pros, would probably be better than what's around the Bears right now. Like, give me Ruckert and like Smith
Oh
and
yeah,
Jigba
right.
and all of that. But the defense is the difference. I think the Bears defense is probably a lot better than Ohio State's defense last year.
Currently,
So
right now, Ohio State's defense is so unbelievably bad.
why do you guys hate rebuilds? That's what the Bears are doing, obviously. Okay,
Well,
so
what do they have going?
you've got a quarterback. You've got a quarterback on a rookie deal in his second year. This is not when the rebuild should be happening. Okay, the rebuild should have been happening the year before drafting Fields, and then you get Fields, and then you start surrounding him with talent because you've got to win when he's on a rookie deal. Instead
Right.
of there being no rebuilding happening, and then you trade up for Fields, and then you start the rebuild. And you give him nothing while he's supposed to be making strides. That's not a well done
Right.
rebuild at all. This is
This is the worst rebuild I've ever seen in my life.
that's a horror.
And I'm a
Like
Browns
the
fan.
Lions, the Lions are rebuilding, right? They traded away Stafford. They cut bait with a bunch of their good players. They didn't give like last year. Everyone knew they were going to win less than 6 games, and they had no receivers. They had Jared Goff. Like that's the way you're supposed to do a rebuild. And then they're getting all these nice pieces around the quarterback. And next year they'll get the quarterback and it'll be okay. If they would have got the
Right.
quarterback last year and had him throwing to Craig Reynolds and, whoever else, I would have said, that sucks.
among us St. Brown.
Even the wide receivers last year are much better than what the Bears have got now. But still, they shouldn't have done it. The
Yeah.
Lions are going like I don't just because you suck doesn't mean your rebuild's going well. It's not going well. Maybe it'll go well
Like
after
I
they.
promise you, like coming from a Browns fan, I have watched some truly horrific rebuild attempts. All right. Some of the worst. And this might be worse than any of them, except for when we decided Brandon Weeden was going to be the future of our franchise. That was
pretty bad.
That was pretty
Browns are an
bad.
awesome team, man.
It's so comical, but what the Bears are doing right now, it's definitely up there as far as bad things that I've seen NFL teams do.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but yeah, it's not to say like Fields can never be good or the Bears can never turn it around. Like maybe if they hit on everything going forward, they're gonna have a bunch of cap space. They're gonna have a high draft pick, so it's not like they can't turn it around. They've just like made it harder on themselves, and they've made it a lot harder on Justin Fields, and they've closed their window a little bit because now the first 2 years out of Justin Fields, 5 years at most rookie deal are trash, So
This is a good point. If they took Mac Jones last year, the rebuild would look terrible. And it already looks terrible, but
yeah, I think it would look about the same. I mean, Mac Jones was like undisputably better than Justin Fields was last year. So.
Yeah, but do you think Mac Jones thrives in Chicago?
I don't think anybody can thrive in Chicago right now. I think they could sign Tom Brady himself and he would not thrive in Chicago right now. It's just not a good roster.
You don't think Tom Brady, I would say prime Tom Brady, but did he ever really exit his prime?
No, he didn't. Well, in 2019, people thought he did, but that's only because his wide receivers were shit, right? Like, that's just how it goes. One sec. I saw a tweet the other day because Byron Pringle is hurt and N'Keal Harry is hurt. And
Wait,
the wide
what?
receivers, yeah. So let's see if we can find the names of the wide receivers.
I have to go on the dark web to find the name of these receivers. This is messed up.
This is truly horrific.
Poor Justin Fields.
No, I can't find it.
He doesn't deserve this.
Oh, if the Lions took Mac Jones, yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Who were the guys that he was throwing to in the first team with Byron Pringle out? 1 second, guys. I'm sorry for this. It was like there were times where he was throwing to like Tajay Sharp,
It's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Dante Pettis, and like
This is
It
awesome.
was even worse than that. It was even worse than that. I'm trying
Don't
to
they
figure
have
out who he was throwing
they have
to.
Equinemius St. Brown? Okay, that's not like
He stinks, dude. He had he had every opportunity to break out on like the world's thinnest wide receiving core, and he did not do it. Like he's not that good. His brother is good.
so.
Though.
Their list of receivers on Our Lads is Equinemius St. Brown, Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, N'Keal Harry, Velus Jones Jr., Daz Newsome, Dante Pettis, Tajay Sharp, David Moore, Isaiah Kutler, Simba
he was
Webster, and Chris
Simba
Fink.
Webster was another one. Yeah, it was like he was thrown to like Simba Webster with the first team because of injuries.
Oh,
like,
and then there's
who
Kevin
is that?
Shaw or Kevin Shea.
But yeah, no, they are really going to suck.
They're going to be
They're
horrible.
really, really, really going to suck. So that's okay. That's okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
I set my record.
Either
again today.
that, or they're going to be the next Bengals, and I'm gonna be.
they're not going to be the next Bengals, man. There's no chance.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Because at least the Bengals like they had Jamar
had
Chase,
Jamar Chase and T.
Higgins,
Higgins and Tyler
right?
Boyd
And on defense they had fucking I can't think of safeties now. Jesse Bates and Von Bell.
Yeah. Well,
right?
those safeties. I guess Eddie Jackson.
Well, Eddie Jackson's kind of cooked right now. I don't know. It would be a crazy resurgence if he was good this year.
Matt, what did you say you had your record predictions? Is that what I heard?
Is Matt frozen?
No,
He looks frozen. Bro is dead. He hasn't moved in 40 minutes. Oh, there he
Stop.
is.
That was so rude of you to say.
Did you have your record predictions? Is that what I heard?
Me?
Yeah.
I
Did I hear you say the word record prediction?
Oh! I just remembered I set my new record in Wii Golf today. I'm 19 under now.
Oh.
19 on that's pretty fucking good.
It is pretty good.
So that's a birdie on every hole and a eagle on one average.
Yeah.
That's not.
What is the average par? What is the average par? 3, 4.
There's an equal. The average par would be 4.
Okay. So
That's...
you're normally getting there in about 3 shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a consistency that gets you. There's a lot but with a par 3, it's like if you mess up your first shot, you can have a really hard putt. It gets tough. I mean, you start getting on the leaderboards for like the world record. There's about 30 people at 24 under.
Okay.
Damn.
So you need to hit some hole in ones.
I'm pretty
then, right?
good.
I mean, you'd beat me.
No, you wouldn't need to hit any. You would need to. The way that it would work is you would need to get every single hole in one putt. That's the hard part.
Okay. And you'd probably need a couple where you drive it in from like halfway, like some.
Well, assuming that you
right?
couldn't actually, I don't even know if it would be every single one putt, because you got to think like that would make all your par 3s birdies. Your par 4s would also be birdies, and then you would eagle all of the par 5s. So it would be basically.
Matt, we need a Wii Golf live stream. Need to live stream you playing Wii
I would
Golf.
watch. I would watch to see what, because what would be like a disaster for you if your high score is -19? I mean, you've got to be hitting in the minuses like basically every time. No.
Oh yeah, no, I'd probably never do anything worse than 14 under at this point.
We should live stream Mario Kart.
I'd be down.
We should. I'd be down to live stream Mario Kart. Someone brought it up on the live yesterday. We are live streaming Browns Panthers week 1.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be an awesome game.
Matt, pull up to Oxford.
Okay.
And
all right, sounds like a plan. I'm coming to see you guys when you move in. I gotta see. Yeah, I gotta see
Zach and
movies yet.
Zach and I will get there on the 14th. Zach will probably get there early evening. I'm getting there in the morning.
I'll be waiting
And we'll
outside the door.
like a real one. The dude doesn't even know my address yet. He's just gonna be wandering around until he finds it. I've been doing this NCAA Road to Glory as a receiver for Arkansas.
That's fun.
It is fun. I have not been able to beat out Traylon Burks at receiver though, which sucks because it limits my field time. But despite that, I was still top 10 in receiving yards in college football. Or no, I think I was fifth. I think I was fifth in receiving yards. And I won returner of the year. And what else? We beat Bama and we beat LSU. But we lost to Texas A&M, Rutgers, and who else did we lose to that prevented us? Like Mississippi State. And so we were playing in like the Capital One Bowl instead of the national title, even though we beat the number 1 and number 5 team in the country.
Horrible. You'll benefit a lot from the expanded playoffs, though.
We really would.
What else?
I feel like Matt's internet is not having a fun time right now.
No, it's not. Do you see the Odell to Buffalo rumors? I have not
just
seen
been atrocious, man.
Bro, I've seen Odell to literally every team.
He wants to play with Josh Allen.
He wants to play with Jacoby Brissett.
He's just talking about Vaughn. He was talking to Vaughn and being like, what Odell said. Vaughn said, let's chase this ring again, and then tagged Odell. I mean, I could see it, but I couldn't see it now. If, like, Gabriel Davis is disappointing, then I could see the Bills going after Odell. But until that happens...
Or if there was, like, an injury in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, until that happens, like, you've got 3 good slot receivers. You've got Diggs, and then you've got Gabe Davis on the other side. And I think that Gabe Davis has shown enough to get a shot at the starter there. And if he really falters, then you go after Odell. But, I mean, until he falters, I don't think Odell will join the Bills anytime soon. I don't think Odell will join anybody anytime soon. So, yeah, I think that would depend. T. Higgins or DK Metcalf? Who is better?
Honestly, like, I don't know.
Well, T. Higgins has better hands, that's for sure.
T. Higgins has like some of the best. T. Higgins has some of the best hands in the league, bro. His hands are
just
nuts.
as big. But I would say Metcalf is someone with a little bit more juice after the catch.
I agree. I
would probably
agree.
And I would say like his vertical speed is, makes him a little bit.
Yeah, I will.
Difficult to deal with.
I used to bash DK in like his earlier, like as a rookie. I was like, this dude is like not a very good route runner. But recently, he's learned to use like the fact that DBs just like don't want to deal with him down the field. So he will literally just. I mean, he comes off the ball and is just like every single route looks like a fade route, and then as soon as he makes his break, he has like 10 yards of separation. So he's gotten really good at that. And I don't think T. Higgins quite has that yet in his bag. But T. Higgins, like vertically, like if you just throw one up to him, like the odds that he comes down with it, like a 50-50 ball for T. Higgins is more like a 70-30.
Yeah,
like,
I would say T has better hands, but I would say like in terms of creating separation and yards after the catch, and like release packages, I would say DK is better at those aspects of it. So I would probably take DK over T. Higgins. So
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's not a bad way to look at it. Olave will be the best receiver of this rookie class. I mean, he could be, bro. His route package in camp has looked filthy.
He's
a good receiver.
He shook the hell out of. I think it was maybe Bradley Roby. I mean, he made Bradley Roby look stupid. Apparently, he's been struggling a little bit getting off press, which makes sense because he's built like
Yeah.
me. But yeah, if he can get off the line of scrimmage, I mean, the way he stems his routes and then breaks the other way is like.
You could also just like put him in the slot, and then he wouldn't have to deal with it really.
Right. It's not there's no defense that presses wide receivers every single snap. And if you do, I mean, if you're pressing one side,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do to Michael Thomas? Because
right, you're not.
don't
Michael
press him.
Thomas he is going to beat that, eventually. But yeah, I like Chris Olave.
Yeah, I do too. I don't. He might be the best. Just the situation that he's in is like probably the best one, and he's super polished already. So I could see it, but I don't think he'll have like overall the highest peak. I don't think Olave is ever going to be like a all pro. But
yeah, I don't know. Drake London, I love. I think he's going to be exceptional.
Yeah, he'd probably be my bet to have the best rookie season. But
I feel like all the rookies are underrated in fantasy right now, honestly. I like their draft position for a lot of them, man.
Where's Drake London going? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head.
Or-
Pretty low
okay.
for a number one receiver. I
Yeah,
understand.
I
he's
w-
okay, but
I mean, yeah, and it's like, but what was it? Ohio State played for the Browns.
Ohio
What
State
position?
played for the Browns.
Yeah, he was a quarterback for the Raiders, and then
Oh,
I
you're
can't
talking
Terrell
about
think of his name
Terrell
right now.
Pryor.
Terrell Pryor. Yeah, I was like but Terrell Pryor had like 1,000 yards on like the worst team ever. So I would not be worried about someone not being able to put up numbers. Like in
Thoughts on
PPR, like come on.
Thoughts on the DeJounte Murray and Paulo beef? This is supposed to be an NFL, NBA stream anyway, so that's probably a good thing to answer.
It's not an NBA stream anymore.
it just says Tuesday Live now.
Yeah.
I don't know,
worry
dude.
about
With that beef, it's so
I think
funny,
it's
dude.
funny.
Yeah, it's like I'm not.
I mean, I tend to side with DeJounte Murray considering he's the one who just totally embarrassed Paulo. Like, that move that he hit on him was like pretty sick. So it's like, well, Paulo,
There's
like, why you should
there's a
just like kind of.
screenshot of him like tripping him though. I don't know if that was.
If it's a screenshot, it's not true. That's all I'll say. If it's a video, it's true. If it's screenshot, quite literally
Well,
never true.
it's a screenshot of the video, and it's
No,
like,
the video is not. Then the video will show something else.
Okay.
If people are relying on screenshots, it happens every time.
fair
But
enough.
I don't know. I think it's just hilarious that DeJounte Murray is like, you need to be humble when Murray has just been like stunting on absolutely everybody in the pro-am circuit, like hitting. Did you see the video of him like hitting his defender in the head with the basketball?
That's so.
And then like doing that to Paulo and then just being like, you guys need to be humble. It's like, what? Yeah.
If someone
But I
hits
don't
me in the
know.
head with a
don't even-
basketball, I am just getting closer. Like,
Well, if you're getting closer to DeJounte Murray, I have bad news for you. You're getting beat even worse.
well,
but-
I am not guarding NBA players. I'm guarding like other college
Me.
kids. I'm taking a basket. Yeah, I'm guarding like you or like Matt. But and sometimes there's guys. Every once in a while, like we'll do intramural basketball, and there's someone that can dunk. Like legitimately like drive and dunk. And that's pretty hard to guard because your only option is like to get in their way and try and slow them down. But I don't know. Most people aren't like you can get pretty close to them and they're not going to blow by you unless you're just like horrifically unathletic.
Yeah, I definitely think that Murray, like, to me, Murray is the one who hit the crazy move and he gets to talk shit. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. Bragging rights.
Although apparently Paulo did drop 40 in that game, so.
Theo, I love how I could just see like your chin up and that's it.
I should improve my posture.
Theo's over here just like
posture.
All right.
That was my
That's
Theo
harsh.
NFL impression.
Quite good.
Brian Burns or Chase Young?
Matt,
That's a tough one. See, that's a
Probably-
tough one.
Probably Burns. I mean,
See, 'cause-
Burns is better right now, that's for sure.
And
Chase
that's
Young is better
the
against the
thing.
run,
Like
though.
Burns plays for the Panthers, but Chase Young went to Ohio State.
right?
So,
Shut up.
And as our Panthers and Ohio State,
well, whichever one was born closest to Cincinnati, we're gonna have to give the edge to.
I saw the worst list of all time the other day. I wonder if I can even share my screen on the Zoom and show it to you guys.
Of
'cause
what?
It would,
you could, but it would really mess up like how people view the stream.
it would.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do about that? Can we just mess it up and just you can hear my voice?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna mess it up real quick. I want to show you guys this. This is
Sorry,
good
sorry,
content.
Michael.
Sorry, Michael. I'm gonna share my screen. Where can Where is I have Zoom hidden. There it is. It's just a little box.
DeJounte
Share
bullying
screen.
9-to-5 workers. In
Oh,
programs.
it's been disabled to it's been disabled. I can't share my screen.
Tough.
It was a list of NFL Instagram. Do you know the account SOG Football?
No,
It's got like 240,000 followers. I'm sure you've
I
seen
don't
their
fol-
graphics around.
I do not follow any NFL Instagram account. other
I don't
than, like,
either.
the
I just
NFL.
came across this list like on the Explore page. It's the best edge rushers of the 2021 to 2022 season. And it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Everyone who's
Who's
got a
number
phone right
one?
now. TJ Watt is in a tier by himself.
Oh, Theo,
That's-
you're the host now. You can share your screen.
Okay, perfect. We can go look at this together then. Okay, so TJ Watt is in a tier by himself. Like, okay, that's like I disagree, but compared to the rest, Matt
I mean,
just
if
saw
you're
it.
if you're going off
Come
of
on,
like,
man.
if you're
We
going
got
off
Chris
of like
J-
the if you're going off
got-
of just like the season that they had in the sense of like, yeah, he tied the sack record, sure. But as far as like edge rusher ability,
we got
no.
Chris Jones in tier 3. That was the first thing that really stood out to me as like, what could you be thinking? Because Chris Jones,
Wait,
not
wait.
not an edge rusher, not an edge rusher.
No way. No way we have Jerry Hughes on the same tier as Brian Burns. Jerry
Chase
Hughes
Young,
is
and this is-
legitimately 40.
This is from the 2021-2022 season. So this isn't like overall. Chase Young is on tier 5, who, first of all, played 7 games. Second of all, had 1 sack in those 7 games. He is above Brian Burns. He is above Chandler Jones, who is not even on this list. Chandler Jones with over 50 pressures and double-digit sacks last year.
People clown my
missed
top
the cut.
100, but I recognize Chandler Jones.
Chandler
Come on,
Jones,
man.
like you may say, like he faded after week 1. Sure, week 1 was better for him than literally Chase Young's whole. He could have missed the rest of the season after week 1, and he would have had a better season as an edge rusher than Chase Young did. Like, I'm not kidding. It's just an insane.
Wait,
I look at
where's Quinn? Where's Quinn?
he's in tier 3 with 18.5 sacks. The same
Bro,
tier, I suppose, as Chris Jones, who
who is
quite
not an
literally
edge rusher.
not an edge rusher.
I
Danielle Hunt-
would say Robert Quinn was pretty head and shoulders above Judon and Hendrickson last year.
Danielle Hunter, Lawrence, and Mack all missed like most of last season. It was just, I couldn't believe my eyes. We see Robert Mathis's comment at the bottom of the screen.
Von
like,
Miller's
the-
really low.
Vaughn, I mean, I don't know. It's like those, even like problems like Vaughn in tier 4 or whatever. Like the main one is Chris Jones being in tier 3
when
and
he's-
Chase Young being
not
above
an
some of
edge
these guys.
I'm-
It was just a crazy thing to think. Like,
Yeah,
The
Jerry
Chris
Hughes had
Jones
2
was-
sacks last year, man.
yeah, we've got Chase Young
Yeah, that's
and
pretty bad.
Jerry Hughes who combined for 3.5 sacks. Who else?
And
Didn't-
Justin
can't even-
Houston, how
I
good
can't
was
even
he
read
last year?
this.
Not better than Chandler Jones, I will tell you that
Yeah.
right now. Randy Gregory should be on here. Anyway, it's just a hilarious list that I felt like sharing.
Someone said, "Where's Micah Parsons?" That's a valid point. You could put Micah Parsons on here.
I mean,
You
Micah
should.
Parsons had a better year as an edge, even though he primarily was off-ball linebacker.
Right.
He definitely had a better year as an edge than like a lot of these guys. So
Shit, he's more of an edge than the fucking.
he's more of an edge rusher than
Chris
Chris Jones. That's for sure. So
God
I saw
damn
that.
it, bro.
That was my yeah, that was my NBA Instagram Joker moment. So
That's pretty bad. Someone said Stafford's going to be number 1 in my top 100. No, he will not. Theo has seen the top 100, and he can confirm Stafford's not number 1.
Stafford's not number 1. Kupp is
He won
number
the
1.
Super Bowl.
Why'd you have to? You didn't have to spoil it.
You
God
ruined
damn it,
well,
man.
Well, I think most people. I think it's pretty safe to say Kupp had the number 1 season.
He did.
But maybe I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
For the 99
you should
people
be
right
sorry.
now. I'm saying
I'm possibly sorry.
sorry.
No. Stafford was not one. Kupp was one though. I mean, if you ask me, he had a top 2, maybe top 3 receiving season ever.
I would put Kupp at 1 if we were just saying who had the best season in 2021. Super Bowl MVP,
Yeah.
Triple Crown.
It's like what
1900
what
like,
more
yeah.
could you ask for? What
Yeah,
more
he
could
did
you
have the best
possibly
season.
ask? What
He
more
quite
could
literally
you possibly
won. He won every award that a wide receiver could possibly win.
outside
Offensive
of
Player of the Year,
MVP? Like
most touctouchdowns, most
the only-
yards, most receptions, Super Bowl MVP. Like they're not winning first team All
bro,
Pro. You're not winning more than that. Like
I said, I would have given him MVP over Rodgers. I would have.
well, that would be silly. Sadly,
He deserves it in my mind.
Packers are not winning.
Mahomes over Derwin?
Mahomes
Seems
over
like the
Derwin.
hate for your top 100 list has calmed down. How many? What did that Patrick Mahomes tweet do? It has
1,000
1,000 comments get me.
That was pretty funny.
1,000.
But it got the likes started to catch up a little bit. I think it's at like 700 likes now.
Everybody go like that tweet, please. We need this.
Literally
We can
begging.
win this battle.
Matt, you could have ratioed me by such a wide margin as a super follower.
I thought about retweeting, quote tweeting, and be like, "What do you guys think of this?" But I didn't.
Thoughts?
Can I get everyone's thoughts on this?
You should do that right now, like after it's all calmed down. You still
We can see.
can,
We
I
can see
think.
how much. All right. You know what? I'll do it.
That's so funny.
Nico,
She was not
let's
catching
see.
up.
Should I quote tweet it and say thoughts?
Yeah, do it. Do it.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna die. This is gonna be
I'll
fun.
say this. Not where I would have them.
That's so funny. I'm sorry, Blaiden.
God damn it. I'm dying now. Whew.
Oh, Cole Topham is working for PFF. That's my boy.
Hey,
Oh, is he?
is that a
Yeah.
ham analysis? If I'm
Ham
Is he just
analysis.
doing the like film thing where they like
He's doing data collection. That's good. Well, I'm
Okay.
glad that I know one person who's doing PFF data collection, because that's always my question about PFF is like who is collecting their data.
who is cool.
So at least
But
with
now
Cole,
you know. Now you know.
I know
You
Cole.
exactly
well,
who
I'm gonna.
doing it.
He's doing NCAA games. So if you guys need some, I've got a connection in PFF. I'll
Inside
tell him
scoop.
like Ohio State. Hey, bump that Marvin Harrison Jr. Grade up a couple notches.
I can talk to him about some Cincinnati guys. Hopefully, get Deshaun Pace the respect he deserves. I'm so pumped for college football this year. Go to a bunch of football games.
Facts. We're going to Miami, Cincinnati, right?
We can, yeah.
W.
I have to check. The University of Northern Arizona's schedule to see if they're playing any like random Division II team with an NFL talent, so I can go. It's sad. I'm really gonna miss. That's the thing I'm probably gonna miss most about ASU is the home football games and being able to watch Power 5 football all the time. Because that was a lot of fun, and now I won't be able to do that every home game.
Did you guys quote tweet that yet or no?
I did. We've got
Oh God.
worst take I've ever seen is not true. That's it's not the worst take I've ever seen. I've seen worse takes.
Thoughts? God damn.
JT Dunn agrees with you. That's how bad this take is, though. You never want to be on JT Dunn's side.
That's fucked.
JT Dunn, who claimed that
Hey,
Jamar Chase
everyone
was a
that's
negative.
in this live, everyone that's in this live, for like off the record, I guess, because that's what's on the record. I would put Mahomes a little bit higher.
If you could do it again.
And if I could do it again, I would have put Mahomes a little bit higher. What people need to understand is that it's really hard for me to go back and change my top 100 because I made all these individual graphics, and then I scheduled all 100 of my tweets. So to make an adjustment to my top 100 is really difficult. It takes a lot of work.
You should make an adjustment, move them lower. Yeah, my bad, guys. 45.
Everyone got mad at me saying Patrick Mahomes was the 32nd best player. So I decided to listen to your advice and no, but I mean, looking back, I would probably put him closer to like, I'm thinking like 25. I could put him as high as like 21 even. I don't think he didn't have the best quarterback season last year. And like I will stand by. I think Stafford's season was more impressive to come in and just basically vault that offense into Super Bowl caliber clutch moments in the playoffs against the Bucs.
Oh, I want to talk about the Rams because the clip that got uploaded to TikTok, and I don't blame any of this, but it looks like the only reason that I'm low on the Rams is because of the injury to Stafford's elbow. That's not a very popular take right now that they'll miss the playoffs. If anybody's confused about this, I don't think it's just Stafford's elbow that I'm scared about with the Rams. It's also their running game and their secondary outside of Jalen Ramsey and their pass rush outside of Aaron Donald.
I can see being concerned about the run game.
Yeah, that's my Rams
and the
take.
secondary
Like on top of Stafford perhaps having elbow soreness and his arm being a little bit. And then some Rams guy quote tweeted it. He's like, "You don't know how tough Stafford is. Last year, he was playing through a broken back and his elbow was hurt and his knee was hurt. And although they lost every game in November, he picked it up towards the end." It's like, well, yeah, when he was really hurt, he lost every game in November. Like, that's kind of my point is when Stafford was hurt last year, the Rams went through a big skid. And if he's not 100%, like that skid could last more than just a month, you know? So we'll see. Run game and secondary.
The quote tweets on this are so funny, man.
Didn't Stafford lead the league in pick sixes?
He led the league in interceptions, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
never forget the November Stafford. Right. Like when he was there like that, like what if November Stafford, it's probably not going to get that bad, but what if he's like 80% to start the season and he's a worse quarterback than he was last year? I don't think that's like a crazy future for the Rams. It's like, okay, the quarterback play maybe could be worse. The injury risk is heightened. They have potentially a bad running game. Secondary is like a little iffy. Edge rushers are a little iffy. Like, you know, it's something crazy is going to happen. Some team everybody thinks is going to make it is going to miss it. If I had to bet, you know, Rams, I went through this on the podcast.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, do we have
Well,
anything else? It's 4:18. Any last basketball thoughts?
Thoughts?
not that I want to spoil before I put my list out. Even though if you've been watching my lives, you probably already know. But not much
LeBron. Did you
happened in
keep
basketball.
LeBron at 7?
I did not.
Oh,
Where'd you put him?
moved him?
He's
You
6.
moved him up.
Ooh. Same
There's
spot
just
as
there's no
yeah,
way
actually,
to
I
win.
won't
I feel good
spoil
about
this
my
one.
ordering.
Yeah, you're gonna get hate for it. Like they're
I'm
gonna
okay
be
with
like,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
people are gonna tell you. I used to think you knew basketball before this list. It's so hard. I thought that about my list. Like people were like, I cannot even believe you would say this publicly. And even though I thought the list was like quite
Yeah.
literally fine, like
KD's ranking will be my
Next-
downfall. Like someone has to be 7. There, you can't win no matter who you put at 7.
do you think?
Did you
people will
put
think
it out
that's
yet or
too
no?
Low?
For
7
where I
too low for KD?
yeah, oh yeah, that's an unbelievably controversial take.
Really?
There's people, yep.
I'd put him at around 7.
I mean, he and this is he's played 80 games the last 3 years and he's coming off a terrible playoff series. I think 7 is
As long as Ja isn't over Trey, I'll be okay with Matt's list. Well, knowing Matt, I would assume Trey is over Morant.
I have not gotten that far into my list, but I can tell you that Trey Young is above Ja Morant.
as he
Yeah,
should
that's
be.
what I figured.
Trae Young is him. Hold on.
Please
checking
end the live. I
NBA...
need to do my summer reading for tomorrow.
I'm checking the NBA ranking quiz consensus results to see where Kevin.
I wonder who it does have at 7. I'd be interested to see that. Man, who's it going to have it? I'm guessing it's Giannis and then
Okay, it's Giannis, Curry,
because he just won a Finals
Jokic,
MVP, so he has to. Jokic,
Luka, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Joel Embiid.
so as Joel at 7.
Yeah.
I can get that. I don't know because he's also injury prone, but I just think his defense is
So, like Kevin Durant at 5, like that's not that far off from where you like. So
well, this is. Of course, you could always say that there's really not that big a gap between these top guys. They could all be so great, and
yeah.
But the difference between 7 and 5 is, heaven and hell. And
Bro, like this is what I said. Like the difference between for me, like the 100th and like the 60th best player in the top 100, I don't think is that big.
Yes.
I think
the hardest part is the 100th best player. I mean, you've got it because being number 100 and not being on the list at all is,
that is a
could be
huge
anywhere.
gap, but like it's also not a huge gap at all.
I went back
The difference
on
between like 120, the difference between 120 is pretty big. The difference between like 105,
especially when you're comparing positions, it's like, how am I supposed to
Bro,
compare these two guys?
that's what I'm saying. How am I supposed to say that like Colton Miller versus like any running, like what? Like how am I supposed to compare those guys? So I don't know. Next year when I do this, I'm just gonna do it generally. I'm not gonna do it just based on the season. That's
where
too
would you have
difficult.
Mahomes then?
Probably top 5.
Okay. All right.
I would still.
Let's
I
end
think
the
I would.
live so Gabe can get his homework
Yeah.
done.
Have fun, Gabe, doing your homework. We will be back. We're gonna record the podcast tomorrow, and it'll be out Thursday. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, from Corn Boy, Bird Boy, Lemon Boy, or I should say Wii Golf Boy. I guess Theo is still Bird Boy, and I'm NCAA 14 Road to Glory Boy. We will catch you all on the flippity flop.